Bluegrass Jam Along is proud to be sponsored by Collins Guitars and Mandolins, each and every one built from the sound up in Austin, Texas. This episode is also brought to you by Peghead Nation, the home of roots music instruction. If you want to improve your playing, join me and thousands of other pickers getting better every day at pegheadnation.com. Hi, this is Matt, and you're listening to Bluegrass Jam Along, the podcast for anyone and everyone who loves bluegrass. Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of Bluegrass Jam Along of the new year. I've had a couple of weeks off, which has been great. Christmas already seems like a long time ago. I hope you all had a great holiday season and are having a good start to your new year. What's going on this year? More of the same and some very cool stuff coming up, essentially. I've sort of learned over the last year that it's very difficult to stick to a definite kind of cadence of getting stuff out. I try and put a briefing out every Monday and I try and put an interview out every Wednesday, and I don't always manage. I've sort of learned to be alright with that. I kind of figure that most weeks is good, and you know, there's so much going on. I have a busy job, I have a busy life, and I'm always going to have weeks where I don't quite manage it, but most weeks I'm going to put some content out and I'm going to do that as often as I possibly can. So the plan is to get the briefings out on a Monday as usual and have an interview for you on a Wednesday. The weeks that I don't have an interview, I thought what I might do is go back through the catalogue and just pull out some bits and pieces. There are so many episodes now, and do some sort of bite-sized chunks of episodes in case there's stuff there that you've missed or you might want to hear again or is relevant to something that's going on at that point on the podcast. I don't know, we will see. But I've already got some really cool guests lined up. An interesting mix of stuff, as always, really. It'll be some new stuff, it will be celebrating some old records, there might be some stuff around particular anniversaries. After doing the Chris Eldridge episode about Bela Fleck's Drive record, that was a lot of fun, and that has gone down really well. So many people enjoyed that. So I'm going to invite some previous guests back on to chat about classic albums and favourite albums of theirs. More on that to come. I've got 2 or 3 people have said yes already. One has picked a record and we're just working out when to do the interview. And yeah, so that's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to exploring some of the kind of string band back catalogue on the podcast this year, as well as some new records and all of that. First interview lined up is this week, and I'm going to be chatting to bass player Daniel Kimbrough, who plays with Jerry Douglas's band, with Transatlantic Sessions, all sorts of other stuff, but he has a new record out of his songs. I'm going to talk to him about that. I think as you will be hearing this today, it comes out, it'll be tonight that I'm chatting to him, so that will be the first interview of the year on the podcast. Very excited about that. And lots of conversations in progress about chatting to some people that I was supposed to talk to at the end of the year and didn't quite manage to fit in. Some really cool conversations coming up. So I will give you more on that as we go through the year. I will put together a new Grass is Mostly New playlist for this year and start putting stuff in that for you, as I have been through the last couple of years. I will leave the 2 live because they're full of great music too. But that is it. I hope you are all well. I hope you are all ready for a year of interesting bluegrass content. And I'm going to crack on with the first briefing of the year. And we will start with Church Street News, which, as always, is the news and announcements. And it's been a while since I've done one of these, so I'm just going to bundle together a load of stuff that has sort of come up since I last did a briefing a month or so ago. And we're going to kick off with a new series of Punch Brothers, Chris Thiele and Punch Brothers Energy Curfew Music Hour, which is a podcast, which is sort of an hour-long variety show, I guess. It's a bit of chat, some musical guests, some Punch Brothers. Very, very good. I've been listening to the first series and really enjoying it. They're starting to record the second series now. And the first guest that I saw on that is Billy Strings, so that is very exciting, the idea of Billy Strings and Punch Brothers playing together. I can't imagine it'd be any time soon before those are out, probably end of the year, but they've started to record them now. You may be able to get tickets for some of the shows, actually go and see them being taped, which I'm sure will be incredibly cool. But yes, if you haven't heard the first series yet, go and listen to those. They are fantastic. But yeah, more Punch Brothers Energy Curfew Music Hour stuff will be coming at some point. Also this year, I'm With Her, Sarah Jaros, Sarah Watkins and Aoife O'Donovan's band. They've been on sort of an extended break while they've all had other projects going on. But they've announced a couple of gigs this year. They are playing in Amsterdam. They are playing in my hometown of London, doing a couple of festivals, Millfest and Telluride, which is really exciting. And when I talked to Sarah Jaros just before Christmas for the podcast, she sort of confirmed there's some more stuff coming from them. So that will be exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes from them. Chris Thiele's Acousticamp 2025 is going to be happening at Pacific Grove in California, June the 27th till July the 1st, which includes all the usual stuff, members of Punch Brothers and Nickel Creek, alongside Josh Ritter, who I love, Julian Large, who I love. As always, just sounds like a fantastic thing. So I'll stick a link in the show notes. Go and check out the details for this year's Acousticamp. Ringo Starr from the Beatles. I went to see Paul McCartney just before Christmas in London, which was astonishing. And the night after I went, he did another gig in London and brought out Ringo Starr on stage with him. And Ringo has a new record out called Lock Up, and it's a country record, and features some of our favourite musicians. Billy Strings is on it, Molly Tuttle's on it, Alison Krauss is on it. It was produced by T-Bone Burnett. I haven't listened to it yet, but that sounds like a fascinating thing. I will go and listen to that at some point. Check it out. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what that is all about. What else? There is a new book coming in February called The World Famous Station Inn, which is a full-colour hardcover book which details over 50 years of Station Inn history. You can pre-order it on their website. I'll stick a link in the show notes. That sounds like it might be a real cool thing. There's so much kind of bluegrass history happened at the Station Inn. So many sort of iconic things have happened there, and you know it's such a key venue for this music over the years. So that could be fascinating. I'll be having a look at that when it comes out. There is also a new album coming from Seldom Seen called Remains to be Seen, which is due out in March. It's their first record since Ben Eldridge passed, and it'll be the last with Dudley Connell on guitar. And it's a bunch of covers of Bob Dylan, Woody Guthrie and more. And yeah, so that's, I mean, they've been going essentially since I've been on the planet. I think they were formed in 71 or something like that, which is the year I was born. So that'll be a cool record, and I will bring you a bit more on that when I know more details. But it's due out March 14th, as far as I know at this point. There is also something really cool happening at the Bluegrass Hall of Fame, January 31st and February 1st, called John Hartford Days, which is a 2-day celebration of John Hartford. The lineup includes Sam Bush, Jamie Hartford, Rodney Dillard, Mike Compton, Alison Brown, Sherman Cool from the Lonesome Ace String Band. It's 2 nights of music. There's discussion panels, workshops, film screenings, parties, all sorts of stuff. That sounds like a very cool event going on at the Bluegrass Hall of Fame. I'll stick a link in the show notes, as I will for all of this stuff. And also John Hartford related, there's a record called Julia Bell, which is the John Hartford Fiddle Tune Project Volume 2, coming out at the end of February. And it celebrates some of our favourite female artists who are sort of Hartford-inspired, including Rachel Bayman, Phoebe Hunt, Brittany Haas, Alison de Groot, Della Mae, the Price Sisters, Uncle Earl, lots more people. That promises to be really good. There's a single from that, which I will mention in The Grass is New in the next section. So do check out that too. But just give you a quick recap of all of that, because there's quite a lot in there. New series of Energy Curfew Music Hour, which will include Billy Strings, is filming now and will be out at some point later in the year, I'd presume. New I'm With Her stuff on the way, including some gigs at Amsterdam, London, Millfest and Telluride. Chris Thiele's Acousticamp is happening at the end of June. There is the new Ringo Starr album featuring Billy Strings, Molly Tuttle and Alison Krauss. New book about the Station Inn. Seldom Seen record coming at the end of Feb. And the Bluegrass Hall of Fame John Hartford Days, end of Jan, beginning of Feb as well. Oh, one more thing I forgot. The Steve Martin Banjo Prize was announced sort of in the break between my last episode and this one. Went to 2 fantastic banjo players that I saw both of them play live last year. And I'm singing one of them in a few weeks over here in London. One is Alison de Groot, who plays obviously with Tatiana Hargraves with Transatlantic Sessions Band now. Fabulous banjo player. And also Trey Wellington, who I saw over at IBMA play with New Dangerfield. So yeah, congratulations to both of those. The Steve Martin Prize is a very cool thing. Really kind of important in terms of promoting banjo and is an important platform for those players. So yeah, Trey Wellington and Alison de Groot have been awarded the Steve Martin Banjo Prize. But that is it for the news and announcements. Let us move on to The Grass is New. And The Grass is New is just new releases that have come out, and three things in particular sort of caught my eye. The first is Daniel Kimbrough, who's going to be on the podcast very, very shortly. His album Carpet in the Kitchen is due out soon. I don't know the exact date. I'll find out from him when I talk to him. But there's a single called Loyston, which is out from that, which I really, really like. Jerry Douglas did a version of this on his album The Set that came out end of last year, and it's the first track of Daniel's record, so do go and listen to that. That'll be in the playlist. I'll stick a link in the show notes. Also, the Hartford Fiddle Tune project that I mentioned, the first single, Steam Powered Aeroplane, from Kathy Mattia, featuring Alison Brown, Sierra Hull, Missy Raines, Brittany Haas and Larkin Poe's Megan Lovell, is out now. Go and have a listen to that. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to the album as well. And the third thing is Becky Buller, who was on the podcast last year as well. She has a new single called Reach with her First Ladies of Bluegrass friends. So it's Becky Buller featuring Alison Brown, Sierra Hull, Missy Raines and Molly Tuttle. That is really cool as well. So yeah, three new bits there. The Daniel Kimbrough single with the album on the way, the Hartford Fiddle Tune single with an album on the way, and Becky Buller's Reach with Alison Brown, Sierra Hull, Missy Raines and Molly Tuttle. And who knows, maybe they're going to do some more too. That would be exciting. So yeah, those will go in the Grass is Mostly New playlist, which I'll add to as we wander our way through the year. That's it for new releases for now. Lots more things coming up this year, lots of music coming out, and I will keep you abreast of as much of that as I can as we go. That is it for the Grass is New this time. At this point, I would normally do a section that we call Scroll On Buddy, which is where I point out something that I've seen on social media. But given it's been a few weeks since I did one of these, I've spotted loads of things on social media, and nothing sort of particularly stood out to mention at this point, so I won't be doing that. But I do also just tend to mention what I've been listening to this past week, and it's been the Daniel Kimbrough album, Carpet in the Kitchen, which I've been listening to in anticipation of interviewing him, and I am loving that. He's got a great voice. He's a great writer. There's a lot of depth in there. It's a really interesting record, and I'm very much looking forward to talking to him about it. So that's what's been in my ears this week. And just lots of bits and pieces. I've started compiling a list of episodes that I'd like to do this year if I can. Some of the guests I'd like to get on, some important anniversaries to celebrate, some things that I've been sort of chatting to people about on the podcast and would like to continue those conversations with various other people, and I will tell you all about that as we get there. Another exciting year ahead for me, I think, and hopefully that means an exciting year for you. Nice to see you all again. I will speak to you next week. Have a great week and happy picking. Bluegrass Jam Along is proud to be sponsored by Collings Guitars and Mandolins, making some of the finest guitars and mandolins in the world since the 1970s. Visit collingsguitars.com and find out why.